whenever it's related to transition defense, it's always got to do with how well we communicate and the effort and execution and competitiveness, because it doesn't take a lot of skill to get back on transition defense. It's communication and being competitive, and that's where we lacked in both of those categories for the majority of the game, and I think it really showed in our transition defense.
You guys were pretty locked in defensively not too long ago. Is that just something that there's just natural slippage throughout 82 games and you have to sort of shore it up? Take a beat and shore it up every now and then?
Yeah, you hate to make excuses, but we were really solid defensively in all categories for a little bit of time there. But maybe, this is what new teams go through, is not being able to be consistent with that throughout a longer period of time. So, maybe that's got to do with it. But for us to keep learning from these games and making sure that it doesn't happen again, but we obviously know what we can do, and it's, like I said, being consistent about it.
Did you have a letdown, you think, last night? You guys had won for the first time back-to-back games in a row. They'd lost 5 in a row. They were missing 2 of their top players. Is there a natural tendency to kind of...
Yeah, like I said, I didn't think we, rocked up to the game with that mindset that we've had lately. So definitely a slippage, and the loss after the game probably stung a little bit more than other losses that we've had. But like I said, being able to go through these times with this new group is hoping that is going to pay off down the long run.
What are you seeing from DeMar right now? It seems like he's trying to work himself out of a little funk or something.
Yeah, look, I made this comment last night after the game too, that he brings so much more to our team than just being able to score the ball, and that's what makes it so enjoyable to play with him. And I know other guys definitely feel like that. So, being able to force himself out of it, I don't think, is necessarily the way, and he's going about it in a way that, can come naturally, and obviously we're supporting him, and we've got his back no matter what. But other than that, he brings so much more to our group. I believe that he makes, us as teammates better, and when you see that on the offensive end of the floor, you can appreciate that. Obviously, we all need to help him understand the system and what we need to do defensively, but like I said, I think that the main message for him is that he brings way more to our group than obviously just scoring the ball.
It seems like a couple months ago we were asking you the same questions about LaMarcus, and then all of a sudden he's back to being LaMarcus. Do we just make too big a deal about what happens over a small sample size with these all-star players? And by we, I mean us.
Yeah, but that's what you guys get paid to do, so that's all right. We'll answer. Look, it's basketball. It's being a professional athlete. It's understanding that nothing's going to be handed you on a silver platter, and you've got to take what comes and learn from it and move on the best you can. And there's going to be adversities and hurdles in front of you, and that's just being a professional player. I think that's what also makes your comeback even sweeter, when you're able to get back in the saddle and learn from it down the long run. I think that's what makes it sweeter.
It's fair to say those kind of things are more of a conversation for us than they are in the locker room.
Oh, that's all right. I can come in and give my 2 cents and leave again.
Straighten everything up.
Yeah.
Patty,
before the game last night, you went ahead and made a speech to the people. What was the message that you wanted them to walk away with what you said?
Yeah, it was. It meant a lot for me to be able to address the crowd last night. And there was a couple of messages in there for me to be able to tell people that we recently had the opportunity to visit the National Civil Rights Museum. Was one which I don't think anyone knew about. It was just kind of a fitting time that we managed to play Memphis pretty recently, and then obviously to today's MLK Day. The second one of being able to educate, I think, is the biggest message that I try to learn from, and I think given my times here in the States and really understanding on a deeper level the messages of the civil rights movements and Martin Luther King, and growing from that, I've really appreciated a lot more. I've really been able to respect and honour all that has been done. So for me to be able to relate those things that happened in this country to the problems and the issues and the significant events that has happened in Australia, I think is important for me to be able to educate people now living in America to who I am, to what has happened, so that we can all kind of understand that these things have happened in the past, they're still happening now. How can I help to be able to bridge a gap between this division, to be able to bring people together so that we can all move forward together? And I think that was the main message of what I wanted to do last night. And I think being able to celebrate Martin Luther King's legacy last night at the game, and obviously today, gives us that opportunity to do that.
Are we going to get there?
I have faith just as much as other people do. I do believe it's going to be a very long time. But I also believe, and what has been said many times before, is that we've got to be able to make some noise to be able to create change. So by me doing the message last night, by me continuing to speak up about the issues in Australia, I do believe it. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's a time in Australia right now, which is embarrassing for me, being here in America, pursuing my dreams, is that it is a time of growing division because of January 26, 1788, which is known as the European settlement in Australia. And it's a debate that comes up every time this time around. And for me to be able to be in America and not feel helpless, but feel like I'm so far away from being able to really make an impact. It doesn't mean I'm not going to try, but I'll do my best to be able to make sure that all Australians can come together as one to be able to celebrate our country of Australia in some sort of manner. But it's quite fitting that this day comes, MLK Day comes, crucial time of our life at the moment.
Patty, is that what makes this the culture of this franchise? Everybody's written about it, talks about it. The culture that Pop cultivates. Y'all went to it's busy that not every team does that. Not a lot of teams do it, but the fact that you guys went there, and I know that Lamar said it was one of the most powerful experiences of his lifetime and stuff. Does that tell you that's basically part of being a Spur, is to broaden your horizon?
No question. No question. And if I, or when I finally walk away from here, that's going to be the biggest thing that I've learned and been able to take away from, being here in this organisation, is the fact that basketball almost came second, and that we are able to open our horizon because of Pop and this organisation to the things that really matter outside of basketball, with current events, current news, issues, problems globally. I didn't know much about Argentina until I came here and had countless dinners and lunches and bus rides with Manu, and now when news comes up about Argentina, I look into it. So I think back to your point, it's still about educating people on the past so that we can learn from that and we can understand how to deal with situations today.
What did it feel like to be there on that balcony and to stand, like Lamar said, to stand there where it was actually struck down?
Powerful.
Very powerful.
Yep, very powerful. That obviously was probably the most powerful exhibit, if you like, of the museum, and touching, but the whole the whole museum with the 23 or so exhibits that they have there is makes your hair stand up. For me, the Rosa Parks exhibits where you actually walk onto the bus and sit in the seats. It was a bus that was very similar to the ones back then, and to see a statue of her in the bus and the ads and the commercials that are along the bus. It was very. You felt like you were
back there.
So that was one of my favorite exhibits. Montgomery, Alabama bus ride.
And that's something. Patty, very well said.
Thank you.